Welcome to Seek Reality with Roberta Grimes. Joyous conversations about what the afterlife evidence and modern science combine to tell us is true about our one reality. You have nothing to fear. You are eternal and you are perfectly loved. Knowing the truth changes everything. Now, here's Roberta.
Welcome to Seek Reality. I'm Roberta Grimes, and I am so happy that you're with us today. Because this is one of, I should add, this is one of my guests that I especially enjoy. You know, one of the problems with working with psychic mediums is that you have to be very open-minded about the process in order to have a good reading, no matter how good that psychic medium is. And unfortunately, there are a lot of mediums that are not quite as gifted as we had hoped that they were when we paid them that fee. But this is one, fortunately, psychic medium who has the scripts to prove that she really does have the gift. So I'm always so happy to have her with us. Carolyn Molnar is with us on Seek Reality again for the 8th time. Carolyn is a very good psychic medium. She's based in Toronto, but that's not a big deal. It's right across the border. She has more than 30 years, maybe it's closer to 40 now, experience in this field, and she has a list of faithful clients that's worldwide. She teaches classes too on mediumship and psychic development, and she has led workshops across Canada and also at Lilydale in New York. And Lilydale is very famous. Look it up if you don't know about it. It's a very famous, precious place. She was featured in a while back, I guess now, in Vice TV's television series, Mr. Tachyon, which was called, Do Humans Have a Sixth Sense? Well, I think we have even more than six. We can talk a little bit about that with Carolyn. Carolyn is highlighted also in books, in Psychics and Mediums in Canada and Medium 7, Evidence of an Afterlife and Predictions. She has also been profiled in at least 3 national Canadian newspapers, the Toronto Star, the National Post, and the Globe and Mail. She also wrote, produced, and directed a one-woman play a while back. It was called, What? You're a Medium? At the 2016 Toronto Fringe Theatre Festival. And readers of the North York Mirror newspaper voted her their favorite psychic 2 years in a row. Carolyn has written 2 books as well and released some guided meditation CDs. And it's all detailed and available on her website, which very conveniently is called carolynmolnar.com. Oh, my dear friend Carolyn, welcome back. It's always lovely to have you here with us.
I echo the sentiment. I'm so glad to see you again. Thank you for having me.
We always enjoy these little trips, and we just never know where they're going to take us. So I'm just anxious to have a little bit of fun and talk about some serious stuff too. So how's it been? What have you been doing and so on?
Well, I'm here. I'm doing readings, working at different churches and having events up here in Canada. And I will be going to Lilydale to enjoy it this summer. I won't be working there, but going there just to enjoy it and work at the stump and have the healing temple. And that's my holiday this year, and I'm so looking forward to it.
Oh, wow. Tell us a little bit about Lilydale. Many people nowadays don't know what it is. It used to be famous, much more famous than it is now.
It has some pretty big names associated with it in its history, and I would not be doing it any favor to try and work with that. But it's a very old community, 1800s. If you want to go to the website, it's quite extensive. It's lilydaleassembly.org. There are 2 hotels. One is on the grounds, one is not. It's a gated community. It has a library. It has an auditorium. So if messages at the stump or at the forest temple are what rained out, we go to the auditorium. And from the end of June till Labor Day weekend, they'll have 2 message services a day. 3 message services a day. And 2 healing temple services. So you can be very, very busy. They have a coffee shop. They have a cafe/restaurant. So you can basically stay there the entire time and just enjoy the energy. Where the stump is, it's in the virgin forest. So they don't cut down any trees. they let them fall, and if they are across the path, they'll cut them, but they just leave them be. And it's a community of mediums and registered mediums who live on the grounds and own homes. And yeah, it's just a beautiful place to walk and be.
Especially 100, 150 years ago. It was
Mhm.
in the United States, it was where people went who wanted to learn more about mediumship. They wanted to learn more about the afterlife. It
Mhm.
was really a hub in the United States for that kind of progressive, really modern at the time, really thinking, and very famous back then. So I'm
I
glad
hope it
you.
gets famous again because it really does hold really good stuff for people. And one of the other things I forgot to say is they do have courses from the end of June till uh, the Labor Day weekend and throughout the year off grounds. So they're a going concern still.
And it's based in upstate New York, is located
Yeah,
there.
it's 30 miles west of Buffalo off I-90.
Okay, so that's just look it up. If it is sort of still famous, certainly among people like us,
Yeah.
it's a site where we go to just feel the energies. It's a beautiful place to go and to be. I always tell myself I'm going to get there, but I've always been too busy to make that a place of pilgrimage, and I still say I'm going to get there
Well, when
someday.
you do, you let me know and I'll come meet you.
Oh, wouldn't that be wonderful? Oh, my goodness. It's a date. Yes, that would be perfect. Oh, I would love it so much. Yeah, I there's so many things that happen in our lives. We hear from people, we talk to people and they reach out to us and we reach out to them. And I think that as time gets on now, more and more people are aware of the afterlife. I mean, the oldest members of the baby boom generation are getting into the period when more and more of them are thinking seriously about the fact that the transition is not that far away. So
Yes,
that's
yes.
one reason that we hear more from them than we have heard in the past.
Mhm.
What's up? What's next?
Yeah.
What's,
Hell,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that
You
is
don't want
true.
to be afraid. And of course, they have no reason at all, to be afraid. You're
No.
not afraid. We're not afraid, and we know more about it than anybody else. And if we're not afraid, then let's all,
Let's share this. Let's
yeah,
get it out there, right?
that's
I am reading a book by Lorna Byrne, Byrne, and she is the bestseller selling author of Angels in My Hair. But right now I'm reading I think it's A Message of Hope from the Angels. And if you have any sort of fear about death, go to your library, take it out, and have a read. She is an amazing woman. She sees angels like she sees us. She
mhm.
was thought of as mentally I hate to say the word, but it's back in her time, mentally retarded. I don't like that word anymore. It's disabled, but that's what she was labeled. She's dyslexic and she can't read and she can't write very well, but she can see angels like solid. And she talks of her experiences in the book, and just a beautiful read for anybody who's interested in her experience with working with angels.
Isn't that interesting? I
Mhm.
don't think I had ever heard, um, my podcast is weekly and it's now 13 years old.
Mhm.
And I think it was within the last 3 years, perhaps, that we started to get proposals from people who were working with an author who used the term angel.
Mhm.
Um, I'm, I think I right now have in my upcoming schedule two different authors who were working with angels, and
Mhm.
and I talk with them about how they know that it is an angel and not a spirit guide, that they're or a group of angels. Usually they're in groups, and they just say that's what they tell me they are.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well that's good enough for me if
Yeah.
that's what they say they are. And it's essentially they're they're beings who are guides, but they are in angelic form. It must be a fashion that over there. That's what they're doing over there. It's like they got
Oh, and
guides
the
too.
energy is so beautiful. I mean, the way Lorna writes about them, we all have a guardian since birth that stays with us from start to finish and even into
Yeah.
the afterlife. And then we have that guardian will call in other angels for what we need.
Yes.
So
Yes,
it's just a
exactly.
beauty, and it's all about love. Their whole thing, their whole
That's
being is about
all
love.
it is. That is, I mean, there's only one note in that orchestra, and the sooner everyone listening understands that that is true, the easier life becomes.
Yes, I
Don't
think
you
it
have
would
to
be a
learn to
holy
sing a
shift.
whole song? Sing that note. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
that's the happier you'll be too,
yeah, yeah,
because that's all you have to do. I mean, here was someone, as you say, whose mental faculties had been damaged somehow, or were less, we would think, in the worldly term, and perhaps other things too were less in the worldly term. But hey, if you're doing love at 150% volume, that's all you gotta sing. That song.
yes, yeah.
It's beautiful. It's
Hmm.
beautiful, beautiful.
Hmm.
Isn't that wonderful? Oh,
Yeah,
it makes me
what a
so
thing to look
happy.
forward
Just
to.
to think of it, it makes
Yeah,
me so happy.
yeah, me too. It gives me hope. Yeah.
But
But
it,
I will say that I have something else I wanted to share with you. I went on to one of your YouTube. I think I was the one being interviewed. And one of the comments was, why don't you ask her about soul contracts, karma, and world events according to soul's perspective? And I was just wondering if you wanted to jump in and talk about that, you and I together, not just me.
yeah,
Um,
ask me anything, my dear. And if I honestly don't know, I will tell you, or don't know much, I'll tell you
mhm, mhm.
because
Be
I got no
honest. Yeah.
secrets.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
So she was this person wrote, well, ask her about me, about soul contracts. What are they? And jump in any time, Roberta. So what I know is that we write them ourselves. We are guided. We are counseled. Some of us are asking for a lot more than we should, in that, sure, give me a life of alcoholism so I can get over it, a husband
That's
that's
right,
really
dear.
abusive, give me a few issues. Maybe I can't read either. And the guys are going, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, stop, look, listen,
Yes,
let's take this back a notch. So they will help us decide what's most important because we forget how difficult it is to be here when we're in a place of love and light. So we are counseled, but in the end, if we decide what we decide is it, we sign on and it becomes a contract. And I've had a couple of people write me and say, can you change your contract? And part of me is like, it depends on what you want to change. If you want to be right-handed instead of left-handed, that's not a problem. But, but you have to go through what you have asked for in order for soul progression.
right.
You signed up for the soul progression in this way. We will help you, says the guides. We will guide you. We can't protect you, but we can guide you while you're going through it. And if there's small tweaks, it's fine, but the overarching theme must be played out for whatever, for soul
You have
progression.
just actually expressed it pretty beautifully. I mean, the thing, the, the thing we have to understand is that where we are is perfect. It's all love, it's all light, it's all beautiful, it's all joyous. And all around us are these guides wearing signifiers of much greater spiritual status than the ones we wear. Now, there's nothing there negative at all, nothing to push against. So we are very envious of the people who are very much more spiritually advanced than we are. And we want to, hey, I want to be able to go up higher here, but we can't do it because it feels almost like trying to go near the sun or something. It feels like there's people who have tried it say it feels like an unbearable battering of energy. You just can't go much higher than unless you are shielded somehow, you can't go much higher than your own development level. So let's
Okay.
say you can go level 4 pretty comfortably, but looking at level 5, it's so much more beautiful. I want to go there. No, you're going to have to go back to Earth and develop your spiritual strength,
Mhm.
develop your ability to love. And guess what? You're going to be able to go to level 5. Okay, I want to do that in one lifetime. So
No.
that's why
You can't do
that's
that in
why
one lifetime. You know
yes,
what I find is that what I'm going through right now, and I'm not saying I'm going any higher, it's like thoughts are coming into my head about, remember when this happened? How are you feeling about that? Is there a need for you to look into forgiveness? Is there a need for you to, look at your disappointment? And how could you have changed, and it's all that going on in my head. And I'm thinking, okay, I know that this is important. I'm not quite sure what this is about, but I need to pay attention and start studying again.
yes.
It's
But the
not
basic
about it's
reason for the contract is whoever you are, before you came here, you had big ambitions. We think you have to probably get toward the upper part of level 5 in order to be able to do much more growth while you're over there. Back then, well,
you
that's the guess. I don't know.
the growth happens in each level. Like a level 5 would be like the Dalai Lama or Gandhi or, Sai Baba.
Some people can develop, but
Yeah.
it's
But are
slow.
you that at the moment? And I'd say to myself, no, I'm not that.
Yeah.
I need to
It's
aspire.
hard for us to know but it's hard to develop over there because there's nothing to push against.
Exactly. You need challenge and you need
Yes.
change.
Yes, and
We
we
don't
just
like
don't have
we
that
don't
there.
like challenges and we don't like change. And that's where we grow.
Yes. So that's why we do contracts. We say, all right, I want to go back and I want to have it be really hard because I really want to grow spiritually so much. So I'd say I want to have a horrible fire, and in it my family dies, but I've got to be made a quadriplegic,
Oh my
and
gosh.
I've got to have that. I've got to have all these bad things, and then that's all, and then I've got to forgive the person who set the fire, and all these things. And that we go literally go before a council and we say and we defend our soul contract because that's what we want and we know, but basically they say, kiddo, that'll beat you. That's a
Yeah.
contract that you will not be able to complete because it will just about beat you dead. You
Yeah,
can't.
and you won't get any further ahead. So
Yeah,
let's just parcel this out and maybe have one or two things this time around,
yeah.
and that's what
You
their
have to
job
make it
is.
doable. It has to be something that you can survive.
Mhm.
Now, and you pointed something out before that is so critical. The most critical thing, in my experience anyway, that people have to learn to do in this lifetime is to forgive everything that happens. Hard, hard things that
Mhm.
happen to you. Terrible things people have done to you. You have to learn to forgive completely as they are happening.
Now, I'm going to give a codicil to this, two things. One thing that helps me with forgiveness is you've got to understand there's another story, not just yours. And you have to understand that they have done the best they can with what they know. And the other thing Spirit told me was you can forgive, but you don't need to forget. In other words, don't repeat it. Right?
But it may be even that you shouldn't forget. You don't if you can forgive and love someone who has harmed you severely, that's the ultimate forgiveness.
Yes. And it has to come from the heart. It's not words. You can say, yes, I forgive you, but if there's no heart to it, it's not a forgiveness.
There's a mantra that we are told that Jesus taught, but because it requires gestures, it apparently didn't survive.
Mm.
But I teach it, and it does. People tell me it really helps them a lot to forgive. But if there are things you're having trouble forgiving, just wrap them up and with the people, and especially yourself, if you were part of, if it helps, wrap them up into this tight ball. Get it really taped down. All the events, all the people, everything, and yourself too, and get yourself in there. And then you push that away, saying, I love you, I bless you, I forgive, and I release, and meaning every word.
Yes.
And you push it away.
Mm-hmm.
Feel a little better? Good. Do it again.
Yeah.
After you've done that 3 or 4 times, meaning it each time, you will find you feel a great deal better. Sometimes it takes another session or two of that, but you will find that you will forgive. It does work. I know because that
Keep doing it.
gesture and those words were the single thing that got me past some of the worst things in my life. Once I understood that, once I'd been told that's what Jesus taught, oh my goodness, it made such a difference
Mm-hmm.
in my ability just to forgive. Because that is the single most important thing you can do to raise your own spiritual vibration.
Yes. And the other thing too is you'll find after you do it 3 or 4 times and you let it go, it will come back. It won't hurt as much. You
No,
review it. You do the same thing. And it's more like what you're doing is chipping away. So don't look at it as a negative thing. Look at it as an opportunity to let go even more. Because we
yeah.
need to learn. And the only way we learn is through repetition, right? Yeah.
But you get to your mind is really lazy, and it keeps the reason that we accumulate all these things that make us feel bitter and angry about stuff is we taught our mind to accumulate things to be angry about because we got angry in the first place. Oh, you want some more? I'll give you more. And your mind gives you even more things to be angry about. But if you're quick to do forgiveness balls and forgive those forgiveness balls, pretty soon your mind, since you're only going to do that and get rid of them all, your mind just stops bothering to
Yeah.
get so angry. And you become more and more peaceful. I haven't had to do it in 10 years.
That's
Honestly,
great. Well, my husband says our brain is the only computer that can rewrite its own software. I agree.
yeah, that's true.
I agree. And this is, while we're here, we're learning. We're
Yep.
learning and not to be hard on ourselves. But I think the piece that really helped me was you can forgive and feel it, but you don't have to forget. So, in other words, I think that's an important piece because then you'll know what to watch for the next time because we're tested. Let's see if she got it. Let's give her one more go at it.
Yeah.
And it's not like they're being mean. They just want to make sure that the lesson is
That
learned.
you really
So,
have, right, that you really have learned it
mhm,
and that it no longer bugs you at all.
right.
Because you can get to that point where, because nothing that happens, let's nail this fact, nothing that happens here is real. This
Hmm.
is just a school, and
Yeah.
it's not even a very good school. Think about it.
Hmm.
It's really, it's a lousy kindergarten. That's really what it is.
But it gives you so many opportunities with the challenges and the changes.
Oh,
That's what will help us grow.
it
If it's
helps.
all love and light, we don't change. We don't
That's right.
learn.
That's right. It does teach us very well. If
Mhm.
we take it seriously, and that gets, frankly, as the older we get, if we are learning well, it becomes harder and harder to even take the lessons seriously. We have grown so far beyond them, which is a
Mhm.
lovely
And
fact.
you know what they are. You've learned. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and oh, here's another one like that other one. I remember about that. Oh, easy to forgive. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not getting involved with it. No, moving on.
Right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Okay. So the next one is karma.
Yeah.
And I'll have to say that's a natural law. This is not a human law. Okay.
Mhm.
People get all worked up. Oh, it's not fair, this, that, and the other. Yeah, well, it's not fair. It's just balance. Karma is
Yes.
balance. And I'm going to say two things about this. One is you may see the balance happen in this lifetime, or you may not. It may have to happen in the next lifetime, and you may not even be a part of it. But the best way to watch how karma works is when you're cut off driving and you see that driver just take off, watch that they will be cut off almost immediately. And that, I know that's a goofy example, but that's balancing karma. You did something, now you have to experience what you did.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
Yeah, it's there. And there are people like, will they ever, will they ever learn their lesson? Will they ever have what I had? I said,
Oh,
probably
Lord.
not in this lifetime. Probably it'll have to be written in their contract because you know what? Karma is not forgotten. And a lot of karma is in contracts, future contracts. So you better be really careful about your behavior towards others and yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah, no, I know.
Mhm.
But there comes a time when in individual lives, they come to the end of having to balance that karma. And they come to the time, there come other times when foolishly they may have been getting past it, but then they suddenly realize there's a whole bunch of other karma that they now have to address that they just piled on themselves unnecessarily. For example, in at the end of the Civil War, we find that many people had never even thought about the fact that all those slaves had been giving to their owners the gift of a tremendous amount of karma, because we are told that the first thing many of those people did who had owned slaves, as soon as they transitioned, they went, "Ah, that was so stupid. Why didn't I understand that was really wrong to own those slaves?" And they immediately chose lifetimes in which they could be given the same kind of negative experiences that they had given to their slaves. Now, I don't know if that's true, but that's something that I came across in reading early 20th century books about readings that people were getting. Right when I got get out of college, I wanted to read these books because they were great early 20th century, late 19th century deep trance mediums who just did wonderful, wonderful work.
Mhm.
And some of those books were in old bookstores, and I discovered them, and I was eating them up like they were chocolate candy.
Did you read the Seth books?
I don't
About
think
Seth?
I ever did.
Okay. Yeah, there's the Seth books and also Edgar Casey.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
He's the 20th century,
yes.
50s and stuff like that. His work actually killed him. He was into trance so much and wanted to help people so much, and energetically it just was just too much for him. Yeah, but he was just
Yeah,
of service to as many as he could be.
yeah.
And he
Oh,
came out
yeah.
with pretty interesting stuff.
There were there were a few names that I collected quite. Gladys Osborne Leonard, I remember, was one of them.
Mhm.
That were mediums, and what was wonderful is that the people who spoke through them spoke a lot more clearly
Mhm.
because they had the spirit guide of that medium right there with them. The medium was out of her body, so they could use her body. And they're
Mhm.
speaking right with the dead person right beside them. So it
Right.
was much better reading than you normally
Yeah.
get. And fascinating. Oh, it was so fascinating.
Mhm.
I started reading those books right out of college, still very skeptical about the afterlife. What are the odds? But by a couple of years of reading mostly only those books,
Mhm.
I, you can't not be a believer.
Yeah.
It's
Especially when it's
because they're
coming
so
from,
consistent. They were
yeah,
all saying the same things.
coming from different sources. Yeah,
Different
that's the
sources.
truth.
Some was from London too, and some was from
Mhm.
New York, and then of course some was from Lilydale and stuff.
Yeah.
It was not possible for it all to be the same and coming from different places and
Yeah.
different mediums and no
Hmm.
correspondence. None of it was the same exact reading, but it was all the same details. It was
Hmm.
like they'd all been to Fiji, and I want to go to Fiji too. And all the details that they gave me about Fiji were the same. They're all wearing spirit robes. Oh my goodness.
And did they ever talk about karma? Do you recall?
No, because mostly they were just saying what it was like where they were now,
Okay.
and
Hmm.
little details and some fascinating details. Oh, have you seen Aunt Ruth yet? Well, we can't get anywhere near her because got all these cats around her. Things like that. We can't get near. You can't even get near her. We're trying to get the cats away from her. Well, now you know there are cats. Your beloved cats are in the afterlife. And then,
Yes.
yeah, tell us where Doris is now. Well, she doesn't talk much. She's over sitting on a bench. She's been there all afternoon. Where they told us she's living one whole lifetime sitting on that bench this afternoon. Fascinating. Oh my goodness. What is that telling us?
Yeah.
Time is not the same there.
No.
All these different things you learn from hearing about Doris sitting on that bench. Oh
Hmm.
my goodness. I wish this had something in it. I don't have any problem with having a margarita this afternoon. But
Yeah.
anyway, no,
So
it
do,
was just, and you put it all together and you say, thank you, God.
yeah,
We
there's
can
more to life than this.
we can know now what it's
Mhm.
like there. And there's nothing to be afraid of. There were so
Yeah.
many
Yeah.
beautiful stories. There
Yes.
was one about this, oh, grumpy old cart, drove a cart all his life. He had all these old cart horses and everybody who came near him, he's dying. And there was this medium who was really a nurse, but she also had mediumistic abilities, and she was so worried about this poor man because he wouldn't even go with his loved ones. And what can we do? And suddenly into this room, his hospital room, walks this big, old, but he's young now, white horse, cart horse. And he walks over to the bed and he nuzzles the man. And the man turns, I'm going to cry if I say this. The man turns over and he looks up at the horse with joy and he lifts his arms, his karmic, his not material arms. He lifts his arms and he smiles the horse just kneels down and lets him get on and he rides that horse out of that room. Isn't that beautiful? What a
It is.
beautiful thing. There was something he loved enough that he would go with that horse.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a neighbor who's just turned 99 years old, and she's now in hospice, being watched. And I had talked to her son, and I said, what you need to watch for is if she starts talking about people in the room who have
Yes.
passed to spirit, then she's close to going home. And he
Mhm.
said, oh, well, she's been mumbling a lot to herself. And I said, pay attention to that so that there's no surprises, because you are taken up by your loved ones and your cats and your dogs and your parrots and all those
And your
beautiful.
horse.
Yep. And they wait for you. They don't know exactly when, but your energy shifts, when your soul starts to disconnect. And I've been told time and time and time again that there is no pain at death.
No pain.
So what they describe it as is, when you see somebody, they appear to be struggling. It's like an old car where you turn the engine off, the engine being your soul. So your soul is no longer with the body, but it keeps running on until it stops. They said that's the best scenario we can give you for the transition of a soul when it appears to be struggling. There's no pain. All the pain is left, all the physical pain is left, but I'll tell you what is kept is the mental and emotional regrets. That's taken home with you so that you can work on them when they're there, when you're back home. And that, when you go home, home being heaven, uh, you are counseled again on what you did well, what you need to improve, and what you'd like to do again. So and whenever you're ready. So, and the other part that I've heard is that if you have had a chronic illness that has really taken your energy down, for some mediums, it's hard for them to connect to those energies because they're away getting their energy up again. So I say to people,
Yes, that's
wait three
very
months, wait 3 months to be
yeah.
sure that I can reach them. Because I don't want to scare people not being able to reach their loved ones.
No, no, no. It's better even to wait sometimes 6 months
Yeah,
because they go to recuperation gardens, which
yeah,
are not much like hospitals because they don't need a hospital now. They just need a place to rest.
yeah,
And
and rejuvenate.
beautiful beings are caring for them and talking with them, and yeah, it's wonderful.
And when people do get messages, sometimes these spirit people come back in their heyday, not when they passed at 85, but maybe
No,
32.
no, they look young. Yeah.
And
Well,
then the woman says, "It's not my grandmother." I said, "Well, it was when she was 32."
yes, yeah, exactly. They look and
Wonderful,
yes,
beautiful.
beautiful. They look at the height of how they looked when they were young. Yes. Very often
Roberta.
you're in the upper corners of the room and they're just talking to you and they're talking to you in their minds. So
Mhm.
that, if suddenly the person who's dying is looking at the corners of the room and just not saying anything, um, that's what they're doing. They're talking to their mother, they're talking to their grandmother, they're just,
Telepathically.
that's right.
Yeah.
And they don't care about you anymore because they know they're going home and they know because they see these grins on these people's faces that they haven't seen in 20, 30 years. They know it's going to be good.
And they also know that they can be with their loved ones still on the planet. They just can't be seen. They're in a different dimension. So they're not missing us because they can be with us through thought. Like, yeah. So I've
But
had many.
sometimes they can be, especially if it's right after they died. And there's some wonderful stories like that too. Thomas Jefferson and John Adams, who are very big here, they may be big where you are too, enough that you know the names, are founding fathers. They both died in 1826. So they both died, what is that, 50 years after the Declaration of Independence was signed. Big deal to us here in the United States and about to happen. We're about to have the 250th anniversary this year. Well, they died on that same day. And one of them died in the morning, one in the afternoon. It was Jefferson who died in the morning. And John Adams was in the process of dying very far away. One was in Virginia, that was Jefferson, and one was in Boston or the Boston area, and that was Adams. And so there's no way there was communication. There was none. But apparently, Thomas Jefferson immediately went to John Adams' bedside and appeared there when he died. And John Adams stirred and he smiled a little bit and he said, Thomas Jefferson still survives. Well, he hadn't. He had just died, but Adams had seen him at his bedside. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't
It is
that beautiful?
beautiful. It is beautiful. And I'll tell you another thing too. They usually like to stick around about 3 days after their passing.
Yeah, often,
And
yeah.
this is part of their karma. They have to see how they've left the planet. How are people talking about them? Is it good? Is it not so good? Because we don't think that they hear us. Oh, yes, they do. And that's part of
A
their
lot
learning.
of them go to their funerals.
Yep.
That's true, my dear. Yep,
Yeah, they want to see who's there, what are they saying about them and all that. And that is part of their life lesson.
that's true.
Mm, be careful. Be careful what you say.
It doesn't hurt at all to be kind. It doesn't
No,
even take any effort.
no.
Just, especially as you're getting a little long in the tooth, just be kind. Take a minute to be kind. Take a minute to say thank you. Take
Mhm.
a minute to say I love you. Especially take a minute to say I love you.
You know
Doesn't
what, Roberta? You don't know when your last moment is.
no.
That might be the last time you say I love you. Thank God you said it, right? Thank God you
Yes,
said it.
we make a practice in my home because my husband, thank you God, my husband is 86
God bless.
and healthy. He walks every day outdoors, doesn't ever use a cane or anything like that, doesn't need to. And he 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 and I never separate at all without a kiss and without saying I love you because we don't know when the last time is.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
we have a son and a daughter who both have Asperger's syndrome, so they've chosen, not to, they're both very bright. Oh my goodness,
Yes.
my daughter has saved enough money that she has just recently retired and she's not even 50 years old.
God bless. That's
But
fantastic.
but she lives with us and she now goes to our doctor's appointments just because she loves us. And she talked me into going to the gym. And I love it.
Good for you.
She has these tracker things, and every time I go, I can do a little bit more than I did the last time. And
Good
I'm
for
now
you. Good for you.
intoxicated on how much more I can do.
And how much more you feel better.
I feel so much better.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I cannot begin to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I have to spend a lot of time in a chair just because of all the writing I do and all the podcasting I do and everything.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because I'm also spending a heck of a lot of time with, she's called my trainer now.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter's my trainer. And she
Mm-hmm.
uses these apps and things to to track my progress. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
goodness,
Good for
Carolyn,
you.
nothing I've ever done in my life for my
Mm-hmm.
own health.
Yes. And
It's
when you're healthy, everybody else
amazing.
is like, oh, thank you. Thank you. I don't have to worry about you, you know? Yeah.
It's a wonderful thing.
Mhm.
I
It
mean,
is.
and I feel decades younger.
Mhm.
And my chronological age is an appalling number, but I don't think about the number. I
It's all
just,
about the energy. It's all about the energy.
yeah, I feel I'm 40 if she's a little older than I am, but she's my
So
daughter.
be it. So how do we get on this from karma? I want to know.
Oh, because life, the thing that's beautiful about life is that you really ultimately control it.
Yeah.
I don't care if you want to go to a gym. It's a matter of life and death. If you are 70 or older, you have a choice now.
Hmm.
You truly can maintain yourself at a younger age than that,
Hmm.
55, even
Hmm.
45.
Hmm.
If you just go to the gym a few times a week,
Hmm. And keep
ride a
your
bike,
attitude up. Keep your
yep,
attitude up. Yeah.
you have to do those things because if you don't, maybe you'll maybe you'll
You'll be
die.
going home sooner than later.
And I'm not afraid to go home at all. That's going
No,
to be
no.
party time. But that's good. I mean, this is good, that's good, but I want to do as much teaching as I can while I'm here.
Yes, I'm the same. I am the same. I want to stay here to help others as much as I can. Yeah, for sure. Let's get on to world events with a soul perspective.
Oh, okay.
That's
Okay.
heavy.
I think so good. I just want to say, I said,
Yeah.
Carolyn, bring some stuff to talk about. So she's just doing what she's been asked to do. Bless your heart, my darling. Okay, what do you have to say?
World events from a soul perspective. I feel that we are moving in a faster trajectory towards spirituality and acceptance of it and it being part of our daily lives.
I
And I'm
think
not talking about religion, I'm talking about spirituality.
yes, yes.
Religion is an expression of spirituality. It helps you understand it, but really the church is inside. It's at the soul level. And I feel that we are now getting to that point where we are we are searching and wanting to know where have we come from and where are we going and why are we here? And all of those things are about your spirituality. And plus, the boomers, as you said, there's a lot of us. I'm at the very tail end of the boomers, so I'm still considered one. And as you said before, Roberta, there are a lot of people now, being the boomers, that are looking towards the next chapter in their lives. And they want answers and they want to know. So I think that we're moving towards that organically. And I also feel younger people are more open to it now.
Yes, I think you're right, but I think you're much more charitable toward religions than I am.
Well, I'll say this about religions. It helps people understand something that's very difficult to understand, and it brings groups of people together. It's like a community. And I respect that. I don't follow it. I'm trying to find the positive in everything. And, there's unfortunately religion also can be a difficult thing. I don't aspire to follow any particular religion. I just know they're out there. And my religion is inside. It's the soul. It's the kindness. It's the love. It's how I treat my fellow person. And there are some things, when you look at, the Christian 10 Commandments, those things are really sacred and important. Love your neighbor as you would yourself. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. All that's very important stuff from your soul
It
perspective.
is. But my dear one, religions are inherently, in many ways, negative, not positive. And that's a real problem. For example, Jesus, we are told at the core of Christianity, which, by the way, was invented not by Jesus at all,
No, no.
invented by the Roman Emperor Constantine, and he did that because he saw somehow he saw a cross in the sky, and
Yes.
a voice said to him, "By this sign you shall conquer." Well, what does that tell us about Christianity? Not a very good thing, it seems to me, that that's what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be a war religion. Now, we are told by the religion that Jesus died on the cross to cleanse us of our sins. He did not. And he
No,
tells us repeatedly that he
no.
did not. In A Course in Miracles, which he dictated in the 1960s, he says
Hmm.
that right in the Course in Miracles. He says, "I did not die for your sins.
No.
Those are on you."
You. Yes. Yeah.
That's right. So,
Yeah.
as far as I am concerned, I would rather follow Jesus's way, which is what they called it during those first 300 years. It's the way. And Jesus said, "I am the way and the truth and the life." That's what I follow. I've written a couple of books about it as well, but
Well,
I don't any longer follow that religion because it's fear-based.
yeah. Well, that's the human thing of it. That's what keeps people in the churches. But I will say this one thing that I learned is
But
that
my
Jesus
dear
never
one,
wrote anything down. If he wrote something, it was in the sand and then it was washed
didn't write
away.
anything down.
No, he never did. And it was the
You wrote A
apostles that
Course in
did.
Miracles, though, my dear.
Yeah, but that I'm talking back in the Bible time. He never wrote anything
Nobody wrote
down.
anything down back
No,
then.
but then the apostles started in.
Yes,
The
but
apostles created the Bible.
but the real point, yes, they wrote the letters that make up part of the Bible, but we still have the Gospels.
Hmm.
And the Gospels, because they were considered to be so sacred, are literally words of Jesus memorized until they could be written down. And the Gospels are quite consistent
Hmm.
across various versions of them. So, and I have talked to Jesus quite a bit about the Gospels. He feels comfortable with what is in the Bible, except for a few pieces which were dropped in at the very back of some of the Gospels. Those are
Those are
fear-based.
human.
There
Those are.
are some
Mhm.
fear-based human details that were dropped
Yes.
in at the back. But other than that, we can trust in large part the canonical Gospels.
Well, I say this, pick out the positive stuff and throw out the negative stuff.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
And, you can learn that from every religion, not just one,
Well, no,
because
there
most
are,
religions there's two things. One is that there's a higher power. You call it whatever you want. I would call it God or the source or whatever, and love prevails. Now, whether the human side of us takes it on and lives that way, it's on us. But it is part of the religious context, love your neighbor as you would yourself. It's just, I remember my daughter, we went to a church once. It was a spiritualist church. And I don't know whether you know much about it. Lilydale is based on spiritualism. And she came to me and she was 8 years old. She said, "Mom, this is the most non-spiritual place I've ever been. And I realized, you know what? Out of the mouth of babes, there's such wisdom. And I realized, you know what? When the human aspect gets in, it muddles everything up.
Yeah. But you're absolutely right, which is when you say that the churches kind of need the fear to get those
Everybody
to get
together.
those butts in the pews. Otherwise, it's easier to turn over in bed and go back to sleep.
And I'll tell you one
Not
thing
afraid.
that, there's less attendance in churches these days because people are thinking, I need more than this. This is not answering my call.
Yes.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah. Well, that although in very recent years, and I attribute this in part to Charlie Kirk's movement, there has been a movement among young people just toward seeking answers
Yeah.
in a spiritual way, and I really like that. But I don't know. I don't know what's coming next, but I do think Jesus is in charge of it, and I
Yeah,
feel
I feel that this is just the setup for what the world event is going to be. There will be a
yeah.
shift. I think people are
I
sick
do.
and tired of feeling sick and tired.
Um,
They're looking for an answer.
we could talk forever. We've come to the end of our
No
time.
kidding. Oh my gosh. Roberta.
We always do that.
Ah,
Um, what is it you would like people most to take away from what we've said today?
oh
And we're
goodness.
doing this again, of course, but what we said today,
Follow your heart. Follow your heart. It will not lead you astray. The heart being kindness and love.
kindness and
And
love.
love. Mhm. That will make the world a better place.
That is very, very important and quite wise of you, my dear. Thank you. And I recommend get to know Carolyn Molnar. She is a wise, true medium. So she is someone you can trust. And as I say, I think not all of them are trustworthy. So I enjoy, but fix your responder because I don't let. I've always enjoyed watching that come back whenever my blog post goes out. A little responder from my friend Carolyn, and I always like that. So maybe fix that so I could see that again.
I will try.
Okay, thank you, my darling.
You know what? I'd rather speak to spirit than work on technology, honestly.
I know. Oh, please, me too. Lord. Oh, that was so delightful. Always is, my dear friends. We've come to the end of our time. This has been Seek Reality with Roberta Grimes, and I'm so happy you could be with us today. Please never forget that you are a powerful, eternal being. You never began, you never will end. And when you get what that means, all the plain and simple implications and ramifications of that simple fact, it's going to change everything in your life for the better. Next week, our guest will be Ken Lloyd. He's going to be talking about the science of consciousness, and this is going to be an ever popular field of study, I think, over the next few years. So I'd kind of like to get a little jump on it. He's an internationally recognized energy architect, transformational healer, they say, and spiritual activator whose work bridges science, spirit, and multidimensional energy. This is going to be an area where we are going to do a lot of talking over the next few years. He was formerly a self-taught software engineer who built a global technology company, but then he got very interested in the mechanics of consciousness, which is something scientists won't deal with, oddly. He eventually, through his global community, Ken's Divine Collective, and his communications to what he calls the Library of Creation, he began to channel healing frequencies and activation codes and so on, and so many other things, which I don't even understand, which is why I said, hey, come on and let's all talk about it with my audience of lovely people, and we'll work on it together. It's all sort of fascinating to me, so please try to be here with me next week, and let's sort of see if we can all figure this out. So Ken Lloyd, and I don't really understand it completely, but I know a lot about consciousness, so let's figure this out together. And today, our guest has been our dear friend from just across the border. Carolyn Molnar has been with us for the 8th, but not the last time. Carolyn is, I think, just a lovely person. She's a gentle person who's worried about people. She tries to help people, which is what we all should be doing. You can reach her through her website, carolynmolnar.com, and I recommend you try that. She's just a wonderful person. And meanwhile, we have run out of time, my lovely people who I just treasure. I sort of think of you as in an eager row of people all listening to us, and now you're sort of shifting in your seats and saying, okay, Roberta, get to the point, and this is the point. This has been Seek Reality with Roberta Grimes. Please enjoy, please make the very most of this coming week in our one shared, beautiful, eternal reality, always knowing that you are a powerful, eternal, and perfect being. Never, ever forget that. And you, most of all in this entire universe, you are infinitely, eternally, perfectly, and forever loved.
You've been listening to Seek Reality with Roberta Grimes. Roberta blogs and answers questions at robertagrimes.com. Join us every week as we explore what the afterlife evidence and modern science combine to tell us is true about the one reality we all share. Knowing the truth changes everything.